All right, we're now at pile two. Hey, pile two. So you picked the selenite cluster. Selenite is great for cleansing negative energy. It also cleanses and charges other crystals. So definitely talks about you needing to have an energy cleansing. One way you can do that if you don't necessarily have any stones or herbs around is that you can actually visualize cleansing yourself while in the shower. Just imagine as you're washing yourself, all the negative energy washing away and going down the drain. So let's see. So let's get into pile two situation. Pile two, I feel very strongly that you should also check out pile three, because it keeps repeating back to me that the energy is similar. But let's just go ahead and get into things. So confrontations. Here we go. All right. Coming out of the deck is the World card. The World card also came out for pile one, so you may need to check that out as well. So, my understanding from the World card here is that I'm getting this energy that if you enter a situation romantically, that this was someone that you thought was the one. Um, there may have been an instant connection from day one, even. And honestly, hearing this now, this is actually completely different from from pile one. But if you want to check it out for fun, you're more than welcome to do that. But this is something where I feel that I think it was very rare for you to feel like that about someone. Um, it may also have been the first time you ever traveled a long distance to meet someone because the world card is associated with travel as well. I don't feel like you had to work hard to feel like you wanted to be with them. Yeah, I feel like there was this like really strong magnetism between you and them, which is very interesting considering what it is that we're doing this reading about, which is like they betrayed you for clout or power or some other thing. So I'm assuming then that there may be a cycle here at play where you two are needing to navigate and learn some new things. So let's see what the rest of the reading has in store for us. Okay, here we go. We have the Six of Swords. So now, this initial card is supposed to, be talking about where you may be currently in the situation in terms of energies and alignment. But with this, I feel like there's talk of you having moved to be with them, um, or you're moving to get away with them. I'm feeling for some of you, there may have been some international travel involved. Yeah, and I feel like there was such a natural attraction that without really, you know, realizing your whole world ended up revolving around them. I think that you ended up in a situation of also like relying on them a lot. Um, it could have been also. I feel like there's some energy here about feeling like tied in a knot, tied in a knot. Entering into a new environment as well. Maybe you even met on vacation and everything was going well, everything was swell, was the word that came to mind just now. But I feel like there's something here that you're not trying to dwell on, maybe some kind of even recent event. But in some way I feel like you're hopeful for things to maybe reignite it again. Let's see. Okay. So we have the Four of Wands reversed. So people talk all the time about the Four of Wands being a twin flame card. And really I think that what this means is spirit just worked really hard for you to meet them. Um, I feel like also some energy of feeling like, and this may from the point of view of the other person, feeling like you complete them. The Four of Wands is also associated with home and home life. Upright, it talks about celebration, weddings, lots of positive energy because the wands are associated with fire. And so, with this being reversed, it could be that the fire that was there may have burned out a bit in the relationship, and you've been maybe struggling with a lot of doubt about whether or not you could fix it, or turn things around. And with the Ten of Swords reversed, I do feel like what was going on at first does have some energy here that can be reversed. It can be a circumstance where with the swords, maybe there's something that you need to really communicate, or if like in a situation where if things are going to move forward, there has to be a conversation had. There has to be some forgiveness, because the Ten of Swords is a card that usually talks about betrayal. As you can see, this phoenix here, this bird, has been stabbed in the back. And with reversed, it talks about you recovering from that, getting over this grief, this regretful energy. Let's get your oracle cards out and get some more advice here. So let's see. We have love begins, but that came out reversed. This deck doesn't recognize reversals, but we are supposed to take note of them. So let's see. Then we have deception and envy reversed as well. Destiny card. So yeah, definitely some divine planning that guided you to them. And then we have the throat chakra. Okay, yeah. So with love begins and deception and envy, deception and envy in this deck is associated with the Seven of Swords in General Tarot. And the love begins card is associated with the Ace of Cups. So I want to say that in the beginning, it feels like there may have been, like, it felt like maybe the situation was like a real stroke of luck for you to have met them. It doesn't feel as if this is a situation where you were planning to get caught up in. I think that it just sort of happened. And in terms of like, if I had to say deception or envy, envy is standing out to me, but I feel that, maybe it's like with envy and deception, because they're really standing out to me. Maybe this is in relation to the Four of Wands. And with the Four of Wands being a card associated with weddings, it could also be talking about marriage. And maybe this was something where you met someone and they were already in a long-term commitment with someone and you didn't know, and that could be the deception aspect. And discussing that, of course, is going to be integral in moving forward at all, because obviously, if you guys are, or if their initial relationship is monogamous, then you'd have to have at least some kind of informed consent from the other person that your relationship is, beginning and continuing to exist. Or if that is not the case, some kind of like disillusion of that previous relationship is going to be necessary if you're going to like enter into a situation that is going to be of real benefit for you. The Destiny card. So the Destiny card is the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. So this card came out upright. So it definitely talks about, with the number 10 here even, that this is a cycle that I feel like you're divinely guided to help them end. Um, and when I say help them end, I mean by you entering the situation, not specifically you persuading them to do anything. So when we have so talking about twin flames, so twin flames is the idea that you basically have a bonded person on a soul level, where in all the times that you've reincarnated as a different person and lived here on earth to move through certain lessons, this person always associated with you. They always come up at some point in your lifetime. So you spent many lifetimes together. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always like them, or be in a romantic relationship with them. That's not necessarily the idea. That's not the glue that holds you guys together, so to speak. This could also be that because this person, say they were in this relationship and they're the aspects here where we have the Six of Swords, which talks about moving on from a difficult place to better waters. They're the Four of Wands, Ten of Swords reverse, right? That's their energy. And as you being involved in a situation, you're of course involved in that energy as well. And so you showing up makes this person realize that they may have fucked up in choosing who they chose to marry. This doesn't necessarily have to mean anything about the other person, but it can very well be that because you've come in and you've had some influence on them just by existing, that they've come to the conclusion that they no longer want to be married or married to this person or married to this situation, because it can just be a long-term commitment. Like, if you're with somebody for like say 10, 15 years, energetically that's the same as a marriage. The only thing that's special about a marriage is the paperwork involved. It is the two people standing before, spirit, God, Jehovah just came out to me, and your family, and declaring that you two are, entering into this situation or this specific type of spiritual connection with one another, because marriage is about more than just the romance. It's about you being spiritually bonded to and connected to this person. So somebody could be a twin flame or even just a soulmate of real significance, just by the fact that maybe in a different lifetime you two were married. But that's irrelevant in terms of what we're discussing here. What's important about this situation is with the throat chakra. The throat chakra, or with all the chakras, is that our souls are made of pure energy, and so they fill our body with energy, and so as a result we also have a energetic body, and our energies influence our overall well-being, but they can also be corrupted by our inability to do things. So the throat chakra, being in the neck, is also where our ability to communicate, as well as to express ourselves, is generated. That energy that causes you to speak up, for example, or to try to negotiate things to your own best benefit, those things are powered and as well as influenced by the throat chakra. So say, for example, with this energy of deception and envy, lying or being in a situation where you're having to continue to lie or mislead, or maybe even have some kind of mental health issue, can lead to certain corruptions in various parts of the body. So with the throat chakra, lying about what you're doing, lying about who you're with, lying about who you're being with, can corrupt your throat chakra, and it can make it very difficult for you to communicate how you feel. And so this card comes out definitely talking about it being something that needs to be healed. And with the number 5, with angel numbers and numerology, the number 5 often talks about conflict or obstacles, things basically that you need to overcome. So looking at that here, then with the Destiny card, with it being cyclical in nature, and then with it being associated with the number 10 is on purpose, because tens talk about the completion of cycles, completion of events, and when things end, they also allow new things to begin. So for example, if love began here with the number one, with the love begins card, and the energy flowed through deception and envy, destiny, and falling here to throat chakra. There's some aspect here that is requiring you to speak up about what's happening, even if it's just for yourself, especially if it's just for yourself. If there's anything about this thing that is making you unhappy, you have the right to speak up and to negotiate for yourself and to speak on your own behalf. So let's see here with these other cards, which I drew to see specifically if this is a situation where you need to leave or if it's possible for things to transform. All right, Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is a card that talks about recognition, reward, celebration of your personal success. And it is a card that is gracefully associated with you having overcome the challenges associated with the number 5, which would have been the Five of Wands. So with tarot, we're constantly moving through cycles from 1 with the aces to 10 with the conclusion of the suit. So for the wands, that'd be the 10 of Wands. But it also talks about you having a specific pursuit when I look at this. As you can see, this bird here, maybe some kind of falcon, has a crown on their head. Meaning that this is someone who is of some kind of nobility, royal aspect. And this is someone I feel that knows what they want and goes after it. As you can see in their nest, they have all kinds of little baubles and things that they've collected over time. One of them that really stood out to me was the gold coin, but also there is a die here, single die, which I feel like talks about luck, probability, maybe even the circumstances of this situation feeling so improbable. Like, why would I have met this person and this is what they're doing? Oh, the word handsome came to mind as well. Somebody being very handsome, very stately. Romantic energy is also coming from this, and I'm feeling that kind of energy really swell up inside of me. Like this feels like a situation that is gonna be a good fit, but I feel like there's more to it than that. So let's see. With the Six of Wands being a card of celebration, what exactly is going on here? Okay. We have the Seven of Coins, which is interesting because the Seven of Coins talks about patience, waiting for the seeds you've planted to sprout so that you may harvest them at another date. As you can see, this femme here is pregnant. So it also, I feel like, is this in this particular deck talks about fertility. I don't know if you're pregnant. I don't know if somebody involved here is pregnant. I don't know if you're hoping to get pregnant or to have a family with this person. But one thing I can say is that I'm sorry, there's something coming through. So there's some prophetic meaning here for you. This is going to be the person who is specifically is meant for. Love is like an open door. If at any time there isn't enough love on one side for you, you're more than welcome to walk through and get to the other side. Your point of view is important on which side is of most value to you. But like I said before, sometimes these cards come out reversed. And the Seven of Coins reversed talks about it not feeling as if it's worth the wait, worth the effort, or that you're finally feeling impatient. If this is in a situation where this other person is in what's supposed to be a supposedly monogamous relationship with someone else, you are not required to wait for them. You're not required to wait for them to leave, to break up, to get a divorce. You're not required to be a part of any situation where you are feeling unhappy. And the choice is yours if you want to remain or if you want to leave. But only do what makes you happy in the long term, because you deserve to do what's best for you. So let's see what else is coming through here. Seven of Cups. All right. So we've got two sevens here, and sevens have a very special or very specific spiritual energy. It's very closely tied to the intuition as well and clairvoyance. And the Seven of Cups talks about basically being overwhelmed by a bunch of different options, or there being some kind of fantasy or illusion here that may be disrupting your clarity. So, say for example, with this person here, they are standing literally in the midst of an ocean that has parted for them. And before them are these seven goblets, each carrying a different item actually. So some goblets have stones, precious jewels, jewelry. Two of them actually have a house in them even. And I feel that this is very heavily tied to your sense of freedom, and that you do have your options in life. If there is at any point that you feel like there's an option being presented that you don't like, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept anything, especially if this is someone who really needs to resolve any issues they have with a pre-existing relationship, or if it comes down to the fact that this person has some kind of financial control over them, and that's why they're not making the decisions that they probably should have been to dissolve or solve this congestion of energy associated with this Four of Wands reverse and this Ten of Swords reverse. That's not your responsibility. You are able to act independently, and you are able to choose whether or not you want to continue to live in this fantasy of them resolving these things and then choosing you. Let's see. And this last card, and that's very significant to end a spread on an ace. So this is the Ace of Cups. So this card here is associated with new beginnings, and with some endings, we have a struggle to really come to terms with what may have been lost. But by navigating that, we are able to come to terms with what can be gained by this new beginning as well. So the Ace of Cups talks about renewal, healing, the beginning of a new form of emotional expression or emotional adventure. It can also talk about feeling a sense of great renewal. Either, I want to say, depending on the multiple swords that are showing up here, where maybe you accept that, in this situation, maybe you should be the loser and you should walk away from the relationship and leave them to figure out their own mess. Maybe you do decide to stay and transform this relationship, and this is a good omen for that. Depending on your specific circumstances, there could be a lot of new love shared to begin again, because we have two Aces of Cups here. So obviously this was a situation where there was a lot of potential for love and happiness, and seeing the Six of Wands here says that if that is your story, that there is potential in waiting, but also at the same time, always play your options. If you're not in a committed relationship with anybody, especially if you're not the one that's married, you can see as many people as you like, and then come back or keep in touch and see what they're doing, if they left their wife or if they left their significant other or whatever it is that they're doing. You don't have to wait on them in any way. Your happiness will come regardless, because obviously you're someone who was a catch. If you weren't a catch, you wouldn't have anybody thinking about leaving a marriage for you. So that's that on that. So let's see. So these next cards were in regard to whether or not you wanted to transform the situation. And let's say that you do. How do you do that? Well, we have the star. So you have faith that this person has come into your life for a reason, that there can be healing, that there can be a new adventure, so to speak, because the star card, basically in the story of the major arcana, the Fool goes out on a journey of self-discovery. And as a part of these experiences, he meets the person who explains to him about the star. So basically, the star card in traditional tarot usually talks about someone finding what they need to let go and move forward, or finding the direction that they need in a journey where they were feeling as if they're not sure of where to go next or what to do next. Then there is the Magician. So the Magician card I've heard has been tied to a higher sense of commitment, but it can also talk about you being able to manifest a change in this situation to your best personal benefit. It's very significant when the Magician card comes up. All of the cards here are either representing you, this other person, or any energies that are flowing freely or have gotten stuck. And the Magician card is actually really great because it talks about you having everything that you need to make this situation of personal benefit for you. So if there is, say, for example, the circumstances where you're wanting to attempt to manifest a change with this person, you'll be able to do that to the best of your benefit, especially with the Star card and the Magician card here. So the Star card is associated with the divine guidance, and that means that your relationship is divinely guided. So I don't know, well, I'm going to assume that you're a spiritually inclined person to be watching a tarot card reading anyway. And with that being the case, you are able to petition your spirit guides, whatever deities you believe in, your ancestors, for assistance in this matter. It can be in the form of, if you keep an altar, make an offering, be it a reconciliation, creating a pathway, wayfaring, so say for example, I would never wish that somebody breaks up with another person. That's not what we're doing. I'm a light worker. I only use my abilities for the highest good of the people, the planet, and everybody around me. This is about you getting guidance and manifesting some truth or insight about this situation to assist you. So that means that you can manifest either new love for you with the two aces of cups here. You could just find a whole other person who's a much better fit. One thing I will definitely mention is about the twin flame thing. You don't have to date that person, especially if you believe in it, and you feel that this person is your twin flame. You don't have to stay with them. We have free will here, and if that is a relationship that is not of personal benefit, or if this person seems to have very low integrity and you don't see them necessarily making the changes to make themselves better so that they can be a better partner for you, you are more than welcome to walk away. However, the Magician card says that the choice is in your hands. You have the ability to decide whatever it is you want to do. This is your call. Yep, your call. And then we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is usually a card of reflection, but I also associate it with being a card of foresight, because usually it talks about you waiting for something you sent out into the world to come back to you. So if this is someone that you maybe haven't been in connection with recently, and you've been trying to manifest some kind of reconciliation energy here, then this is a good card, especially with the Star and the Magician card, to say that there is going to be some kind of intervention here, some kind of message, even with the Three of Wands being associated with communication, especially communication over the internet. But the wands specifically are associated with energy, and like the swords are the fastest form of communication, with the wands coming in second. So there could be some kind of change or transformation also here that is being planned, especially with the Destiny card to bring some light to the situation if you guys are in separation. Yeah, Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords could be associated with you. Once again, with you guys maybe having had a fight, so to speak, or maybe this is bringing clarity in terms of some kind of long-standing conflict that has been in the situation for a long time. I'm feeling very strongly that Spirit is saying that there is a way for you to navigate this to reach a mutually beneficial conclusion, and that it really just comes through you having faith and being patient for a bit, because the Three of Wands is a card all about patience. So now let's see, pile 2, what advice Spirit has for you. Okay, we have Hod. And this is from the Angelarium deck, which is the Oracle of Emanations. So this is Hod. He is associated, well, all the cards with the Angelarium deck are associated with the Kabbalah belief of the Tree of Life. And Hod represents the left leg holding up the tree and is the energy of submission. And so basically submission means not just necessarily just giving in, but recognizing that you can be equal parts pulling and giving into a situation. So you can actually manifest something and try very hard to pull something towards you, but you also have to be in an energy of reception or submission and allowing things in the situation to change to your personal benefit by keeping your hands out of it and allowing your spirit guides to assist you in whatever it is that would be of your best benefit. The next card is Azrael, Angel of Death. And it's really significant because you see that there's a book here in their hands. This book is the book of knowledge, book of life, and also associated with the Akashic records. So the Akashic records are basically our records of everything that has ever been, and it holds here all the details of your lifetime. So for example, if there is a divine relationship that you are meant to have, the information about that relationship, the details of your soul contract, which is the agreement you made in heaven before you came here about how you and this person would meet and what lessons you would learn and in what way, shape, or form you guys may have been able to come to some kind of relationship together, or if not, where things would go here. So it seems that there is some deliberation here about how to navigate this situation for the better. So if you've been really feeling this is something that you wanted to transform, the fact that this has been brought to my attention does say that they are working on this. Your spirit guides and your angels are diligently trying to bring this to the conclusion that you want it to. And could even talk about a potential marriage between the two of you, if that is something that you've been wanting. The next card is Netza. And Netza is the right leg with Hod, which is really great, because if we're talking about divine counterparts, which is also what a twin flame relationship is known as, then these two are divine counterparts, with Hod being submission and Netza being the right leg of endurance, which means bearing and having patience, recognizing that for any situation to have divine intervention, it requires divine timing, and divine timing cannot be rushed. It is literally the exact perfect moment for you either to have a reconnection if you've been in separation, or to have something in a situation switch. And that requires also recognizing that it may mean that you have to call this situation quit into a different period of time where you can try to re-navigate this thing. Because the thing is about the whole twin flame thing is that people have their own timelines to be here on earth. They have like lots of relationships that will come into your life and people that you will meet because nobody has just like an individual soulmate. You go through multiple timelines, right? Just in one lifetime. So you think about all the people that you've dated, almost dated, had long term relationships with. Like all of those people could potentially have been soulmates in a different lifetime or will be soulmates in future lifetimes if you have to come back around again to work through things. And with that being said, this person has things that they have to work through and learn to the benefit of themselves as well as to the benefit of them being with you. So if this is a relationship they have with someone that they have to work through and they have to figure out all the details of the relationship, like, say they have a kid or say they own property together. Those things have to be figured out. They have to be hashed out. And you also have a life that you have to figure out. So you can't put anything on hold waiting for this person to figure that stuff out. You have a whole life to live, which can be you dating and meeting other people in between. Because the reality is that if you're a femme, you're a queen. If you're not a femme, you're still a queen. If you're a masculine, you're a king. All of us have different things we bring to the table. We have all of the stuff that we have to offer. We have all the things that we have yet to learn and experience. And getting into this energy of being willing to receive when the time is right is to the best of your benefit because you have to have a life. Yeah, here we go. We have Hasmed, the angel of annihilation. So the angel of death and the angel of annihilation. This is not negative. This is confirmation from spirit that with the death card, some things have to end. And with the annihilation card, things that are no longer serving you, them, or anyone in this situation have to be removed. They have to be released. So spirit is asking you to release the situation to them so that they can navigate things to the best conclusion possible. And that could mean dissolution of a marriage. That could mean them needing to downgrade some things. That could mean, it could mean a plethora of things. You know better than I do what they have going on and what they need to do. But this is basically saying that we got you, but, child, like, what do you know what I'm saying? And it's like just a mess. It's just a bunch of congestion. And it's just like, nobody should have to deal with that. Which is why we have Sandalphon. Sandalphon, the angel of new life. So we have an energy of endings, and we have an energy of beginnings here. And this is a great way to end pile 2. With this sense of renewal that you are wanting, it is possible. But it has to come with the completion of these old cycles, the removal of these old situations, and then you allowing things to move to your best benefit, even if you don't necessarily have anything to do right now. So I'm actually very happy for you because this points out to, for a lot of you, there is going to be a transformation here. And then for others of you, there have been messages, of course, that it may be time for you to make things clear about what it is that you want and what it is that you want to have. And if they can't offer you that at this time, then stepping away is the best way to do that. But I really thank you so much for coming and joining me here, Pile 2. Please do check the description box below. It has all the information for how you can book any personal readings or any particulars in terms of what I'm offering right now in terms of services. And do be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.